everybody, Eric Schweitzer here for The Gamer, and I'm with Pokemon UNITE caster extraordinaire, Spragels. How you doing, Spragels?
I am doing amazing. I am happy to be here. It's like Disneyland for Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that every single day I'm here, man. This is our second year for UNITE, and it's like double, like twice as many teams.
They're cheering for us right now. I don't know if you can hear
They're
that.
cheering for this interview.
For this interview right now. It's electric in here over this interview.
Talk about, from your perspective, this year versus last year, just like the growth of the game and the support.
Oh, it's unbelievable. So I was just looking at the day one broadcast yesterday. Like 580,000 people watched day one of the show. There was the Japanese broadcast with 30,000 people in it at once. It's crazy. Yeah. The energy is crazy. The stadium is packed. Every single live event we have. So we had Worlds in London, but this year we had EUIC live in London. We had NAIC live in Columbus. Those events were just packed, and then this has been insane. And obviously we had two Japanese teams in the top four, so the hometown crowd was going nuts for it.
It was so hype. Yeah. And even the streams, I think that there were times where UNITE was passing TCG and VGC. Like, how exciting is that?
I'm not going to say that. Look, if that's what everybody else noticed, that's what everybody else noticed. But I did hear that the stream was popping up, yes.
Yeah. One cool thing I think people watching at home won't be able to see is just how much, like, space UNITE takes up here because it's such a huge spectator sport compared to some of the other games. We've got the main stage that people see, and then the B stage, still got the B stage. And then there's all of the group stage games you can watch too, and there's just like crowd, and when one game ends, everybody shifts over to another one. It's so cool to see like so many people excited to just watch the game.
Absolutely, and there's so many important games happening. We had a massive group stage. It was 31 teams qualified, and I think 28 showed up, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So there were so many good games. We could only put so many on the main stage. Like you said, we had the B stage, still got the B stage, and a B stream that people could watch all those games. We also had the C and D stages. So the whole while, if I'm not on broadcast, if I'm not casting, we're running back and forth to see what's going on between all these games because we have so many teams that we're excited about, rooting for, wondering what's going to happen. It was crazy.
Yeah. And another thing I really liked about that B stage is because it had no commentary, then for people like you that do content, that they could get their own practice in doing commentary and stuff. I thought that was such a cool idea to add.
I thought so too. I said this on Twitter. I was saying, or X now. I said this on X. I apologize, Elon.
X. We're sorry.
I said this on X, is that I would, if I was at home, I would have that B stream up the whole time doing commentary on it. It would be perfect.
Yeah.
So I think that's amazing. And it's so good that we have all of those games for people to see, because I saw so many good games. Games where it was, you thought one team won and it was 8 points the other way. Amazing games on that B stage. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a little analysis now that you've had a night to sleep on it. I think from like a bird's eye perspective, seeing the same team sweep 2 years in a row, it's like, obviously they're the best. But what's the nitty gritty? What did you see happening that maybe was unexpected?
Well, so I think Luminosity winning again, once we saw them here at Worlds, was not as unexpected as you would think. But if you saw Luminosity throughout the season, I don't know if you thought it was going to be that dominant. In North America, they had their ups, their downs. They had months where they crushed it and won. They had months where they were knocked out before top 16. I mean, this is the best team in the world, but they had a bumpy road this year. So I don't think anyone expected them to do poorly, but I also don't think anyone expected them to put on a show like that. A flawless performance through the entire top 8. They only dropped one game. One game throughout their first game against S8UL Esports from India, who also looked amazing. So India last year had a really unfortunate run, but this year they went up against the world champs that I can see right behind the camera right here, and they're the only team to take a game off them, which was pretty nuts. The other things that I think were really huge this year, Japan was impressive. They were impressive last year, but it really felt like playing here at home, the crowd. I mean, they were crushing all of their games. And then, of course, we had sort of the wild upset from EU. That was maybe one of the other most surprising things. EU, dominant region. They've been playing so well. They had a team that was, I think in a lot of people's eyes, favored to win the entire thing. Talibobo Believers. They get knocked out in group stage by another team that a lot of people thought could win, 0-0 Nation. And every other EU team eliminated in groups. They don't make it to day 2. It was crazy.
Yeah, shocking.
Yeah.
Well, last year we talked about looking ahead to the, we were only 1 year into the game.
Right.
And you talked about how excited you were to see how the game will grow from here.
Yeah.
Now we're 2 years in. How are you feeling about the future of Unite?
The exciting thing about Unite is it's clearly growing. The player base is growing. The excitement around the competitive scene is growing, which is amazing. And I think they're making a lot of the right decisions when it comes to Pokemon that they're adding into the game and events that they're putting into the game. I think they're on the right track with a lot of that, especially with some of the new Pokemon that are going to be coming into the game very, very soon. We have Gen 9 Pokemon coming to the game. So I think they're making all the right decisions as far as that goes. We have draft mode in tournament. I would love to have it in our ranked mode of
Everyone's
the game as
saying
well.
Your champs think so too.
Everybody wants it.
Yeah.
And you know what it would do is it would let the ranked mode of the game look a lot more like the competitive version of Pokemon Unite. Totally. And I think that would be huge for the game. That would be massive. Because if Pokemon Unite has any issues, which I would love to cast next year if there is one, Pokemon Unite has 0 issues. But if Pokemon Unite has any issues, it's that oftentimes in a MOBA, as I'm sure you're aware, a new character can come in and the balance of that character can be all over the place. Yeah. They can be way undertuned. They just didn't know that this, it actually didn't perform that well. And it can be way overtuned. And we've had a lot of that ups and downs from balance this year. Right. And I think having a draft in ranked would really help that out. Yeah. As we move into year 3, as the game moves into a new market possibly very soon. There are so many exciting things. And I think making sure that the game mirrored competitive more, because competitive is so exciting, would be a really good way for Unite to go. But again, it's flawless. So what can I say?
All right. Exciting times ahead. Great to see you. Thanks so much.
Great to see you again.
Can you strike a pose for our thumbnail? He nailed it. Hey everybody, Eric Schweitzer here with The Gamer, and I'm at the Pokemon World Championship Series with two-time back-to-back winner Luminosity Gaming for Pokemon Unite. How are you guys doing? Congratulations on your win. Amazing performance yesterday. How you guys feeling?
Thank you.
Feeling
really
great.
happy.
Yeah,
cool.
We're very excited.
I want to ask you guys a couple questions. First of all, last year we talked about the thing that really set you guys apart was your flexibility, your ability to play more Pokemon than all your competitors. Do you feel like that's the thing that still set you guys apart?
Yeah, definitely this year, since they implemented the draft mode in competitive. I think that because we were able to play so many different team comps, the enemy teams couldn't just ban out one of the mons that we play. We have multiple strategies that we can use to win. I think that was really key to us winning this year's World Championship.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, we didn't have that draft format last year. How are you guys able to use that to your advantage in a way that the other teams just weren't?
I think our team, we just really studying the game and finding different strategies that we can use to win, and that just really helped us.
Slash, a couple weeks ago, I saw you streaming a power ranking of all the other players. Why are you shaking your head?
Because it's been brought up 100 times now.
It's so
all
funny.
The players reference it. Yeah.
When I watch it, I just thought, man, the confidence on this dude is insane. Do you feel like that confidence is a big part of why you guys are so successful?
I'm definitely confident, but I'd say the tier list wasn't me being confident. It was just me trying to honestly rank the players, even if some of them might not like it. So
sure, yeah. How do you feel like that played out, especially with the EU teams not making it past the first day? How accurate do you feel like your tier list was in the end?
I'd say it was 75% accurate. Definitely some underperformers, some overperformers. Yeah.
Is your goal still 3 world champions in a row, or have you upped it now?
My goal was always to win the most world championships I can. The amount I thought feasibly possible, probably 3. So yeah.
Cool. Curious, last night on stage there's a lot of emotions after you guys won, and I know that you were thinking about this season and everything you guys have been through. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about those challenges you've overcome and what it took for you guys to get here and come out this strong after the NA Finals?
A lot of the challenges really included how we work together as a team. I think it's also realizing that we had really high expectations of ourselves, and we had to realize that we're not going to be able to win everything. We're not going to be able to just dominate and there's going to be a lot of losses. And at first, we were unable to like really handle those losses well. But I think the way we were able to overcome those challenges was really being serious about, and realistic about how we can actually do something about that. Change our mentality, focus up when we practice, set some serious goals when it comes to like playing other teams and playing other tournaments. And I think it all really paid out.
Yeah. Do you feel like this win is even better because of all those challenges you guys had to overcome versus last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think this year, the culmination of all our efforts and really putting in all of not just like our time, but also like, our efforts, really just like a lot of investment from all of my teammates, really made it worth a lot more than last year as well. Yeah.
Overlord, you coming into this, everybody considered you the best player, and I feel like you really proved it over this weekend. Do you like having that crown, or is it a lot of pressure?
I guess it goes both ways, kind of. It does kind of put you up to a high standard that you have to meet, and it kind of does sit in like the back of your head sometimes when you're playing. But at the same time, it's also a nice thing, There's a lot of people that believe in you. There's a lot of people that think you're a really strong player. So
yeah,
I'd say it goes both ways. Yeah.
Is there a part of you that wishes that you could have gotten revenge on TTV after finals, or are you glad that you didn't have to face them again?
I would have personally wanted to play them again, take revenge on them for finals. I also would have liked to maybe play against some of the EU teams.
Yeah.
Because EU was a really strong region last year. Obviously, we played them in the grand finals. And then Tally were probably known as maybe like the tourney favorites, probably to win this thing. So seeing them not make it out of groups is a little bit interesting. But I mean, I'm glad we got to play a lot of the East Asia teams because we never really get to play them. So It was a cool experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. The last thing I want to ask you guys about, last year we kind of talked about a little state of the game, and I asked you what the things were that you wanted changed or to be different in the following year. So I wanted to kind of follow up on that stuff and find out if you have some more ideas. So Slash, I remember for you, it was about mobile control customization. That was the thing that you were hoping for the most last year. How do you feel this year?
They haven't really added anything for that, so it's whatever.
It's still number one?
I'd say the state of the game has gotten worse this year with Mewtwo and Zacian on ranked. I feel like the game is actually really fun if these Pokemon didn't exist in the metas they were in. Like, I enjoy playing ladder, and I face a Mewtwo, and I'm like, I no longer enjoy playing ladder.
Yeah.
So that would probably be my number one thing is, like, make sure you release more balanced Pokemon and balance them.
Yeah. And then, curious for you, you talked a lot about the boost emblems and about the inconsistency of getting them and the randomness that adds to the game. And there's been some changes, but how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's still obviously boost emblems are banned. And also, like, there isn't really a creative way of, like, boost emblems. I thought they'd be really unique as in, like, having different, synergies together. Like, adding a really unique way to play a Pokemon is what I thought of when it's like, okay, let's add another stat. Like, let's add another item to the game that can change how you play the Pokemon. But, I mean, you still can't play them competitive. It's hard to balance it as well because of the RNG factor. Yeah. Because people don't get to practice with the same emblems as others in ranked. That's, I think, the main reason that they don't use boost emblems in competitive. So if there's a way for everybody to just get the same boost emblems, I think it could be allowed in Worlds. But until they actually let you do it with, like, maybe tickets or maybe even coins, I think that would help a lot. Yeah. But until then, it's still not going to be allowed, which sucks.
Okay. And then the thing that you brought up, Overlord, was just about ranked, not having enough rewards and it being like such a grind. Any changes there?
I don't think there's been too many changes to ranked. I would like to hopefully see maybe draft, maybe just ban something to change ranked, like I said, because having Mewtwo and Zacian, like, if you remove those characters from the metas, I think the game is pretty fun to play. Yeah. And I guess it's kind of more of a niche thing, but I'd like to have kind of more settings options. Maybe, like, settings pages for certain characters, because there's, like, certain settings and sensitivities I like certain characters, but, like, you can't change them in the loading screen either, so, like, you have to pretty much change them, like, while you're playing the game in-game. It's kind of annoying, but
yeah, that totally makes sense.
Actually, I want to change mine.
Yeah.
Add bans. That'll fix it. If you add bans to ranked.
Add bans to ranked. Yeah. Eli, you got any other thoughts about what the game needs to improve or what needs to change?
I think adding, like, draft or bans to rank would solve, like, most of the problems.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you guys so much. Amazing win. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. Hey everybody, Eric Spicer the Gamer, and I am at the Pokemon World Championship talking with the man in the golden vest himself, Zoinks. How you doing, man?
I'm not doing too bad. How are you? Did you enjoy the event?
I loved it. This was so much fun. I was here, and it was in London last year, and I was just talking with Spragels about how much it's grown just in the last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, over double the amount of teams invited. The entire prize structure just increased as well, and I mean, just a lot added to the game since then. So, yeah.
Yeah, and another thing is just something you can't see at home, but how much the space has expanded for the game because it's so spectator friendly. Yeah. We take up a lot of room here in the arena.
Yeah. It's huge. And I mean, we're louder than the amount of people that are there as well. I mean, it's really exciting to see the crowd. And yeah, I mean, we're spilling into other games areas all the time. We have all the seating rooms taken, so it's just standing room for a lot of people. But I mean, people are excited for the game, clearly. It's great.
Yeah. And you got into Unite really early, right at the beginning. What was it about it that really grabbed you and you knew this was going to be your game?
I mean, to be honest, I was actually a Pokemon fan first. I followed competitive Pokemon for a long, long time, and as soon as I saw Unite kind of announced, they were teasing it a little bit, I knew just a competitive game was something that was really interesting to me, but a team-based Pokemon format is really exciting. Like, no other game on the competitive circuit that Pokemon holds right now is a team-based format. Everything is an individual player, and there's just something really special about a 5v5 competitive game that it immediately drew me in, and I fell in love.
Yeah, and it so obviously has a spot here at Worlds among all these other games. It fills such a cool niche for both, as you say, a team game and a spectator experience.
Oh, I think so. It's really cool. I mean, obviously the people are here for all different kinds of games, sometimes just to celebrate Pokemon in general, but even if you weren't here for Unite initially, I think your eyes are already drawn towards it. I mean, it's a really great spectator Pokemon game like we talked about, but I think just it does bring something brand new to this competitive circuit that I don't think it's ever seen before. Speaking to someone who's literally followed competitive Pokemon since junior high, which is eons ago.
Yeah, okay. So I want to talk a little analysis with you.
Yeah.
You're the numbers guy. I want to know what stood out to you statistically about this weekend. Was there anything really surprising, anything that stood out?
I mean, it's hard to call it a surprise when it's our first inter-regional competition that we get all year, so there's so many play styles clashing when it comes to it. If anything was a big surprise, it was just, I mean, there's a few specific Pokemon that were a little more dominant than we expected. Urshifu's win rate was incredibly high and pick rate, just extremely good there. However, in the finals of Luminosity Gaming and Omo Obsidian from APAC East, they really had very unconventional drafts all the way up until that grand final. So just, I don't know, maybe that's the surprise. That even comfort picks at this high of a level is just, if you are feeling it, if you are playing something a little off the beaten path, sometimes you can find success with it. And a few teams caught lightning in a bottle like that. So maybe that was the biggest surprise for me.
That Talonflaming Game 3 really threw me.
Yeah, I'm maybe not advised, but I mean, when your back's against the wall like that, you got to throw something at the wall and see what sticks. And unfortunately, not going to make it happen, but I think the crowd was really loving a spice pick like that.
Yeah, me too. I definitely was. Yeah. So we're 2 years in now. I'm just curious at seeing how much we've grown from year 1 to year 2. Yeah. How excited are you for the future of this game?
Oh, unbelievably so. I mean, the competitive scene as a whole, just in terms of people watching, in terms of live attendance, it's been growing so much. I mean, this year we had more in-person events than we did last year. Last year was only at the World Championships. Now we were at EUIC and NAIC. If I have a dream or a wish, it's that we'll have even more in-person events in year number 3. And I mean, with the success that we have already had at some of these other events, I really think there's a good chance for that. So if I'm looking forward to growth, honestly, I want more times that these players can get in person and celebrate Unite.
Right, totally. Yeah, dude, super excited. Thanks so much. It was really great to meet you. Can you strike a pose for our thumbnail?